Ghostbusters, The Girl Squad. Starring Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, Leslie Jones, and Chris Hemsworth. It was, I know where they were going with this. I could see it, where they were going. I looked at it and I'm like, okay, I see what they're trying to do. For some reason, they need to do an all-girl cast. That's not necessary. You could have made a different Ghostbusters. You could have made a tag-along movie. You could have made Ghostbusters 3. You know, these guys inherit the, you know what, that's what they're doing with Afterlife. They're going to make it so it's like after the Ghostbusters. This movie also starred, well, didn't star, but co-starred Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson, and Sigourney Weaver. She was in it as well. So they put the original cast in the movie, which to me personally hurt the movie even more. I mean, it was good to see the original cast, but it just reminded you what the movie was, what it could have been, right? It's like if Batman had been in the movie Blank Man. You're watching Blank Man, it's comedy, it's okay, you know, it's all right, it's not great, but it's okay. But if the actual character Batman was in it, you'd be like, well, Blank Man kind of sucks, because there's a greater superhero right there that's only got a little bitty part. That's kind of like what happened here. The girls did the movie, but the actual guys kept popping up. And I kept thinking, oh yeah, that's right, there was a better version of this. I kept thinking that. So it didn't work for me. Something else that was in the movie. Okay, Ernie Hudson's part, right? The part that he plays was originally supposed to be played by Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy couldn't do that part because he was doing, I think it was Beverly Hills Cop. But he couldn't do that movie because he had another movie on his plate. Eventually, Eddie Murphy did a movie called The Golden Child. And that was his horror movie, his first one. In that movie, he fights a demon called Sodom Numspa. A demon that has come to wreak havoc on the earth. In the movie Ghostbusters, which was originally supposed to be an Eddie Murphy movie, an Eddie Murphy villain is in that movie. Charles Dance plays a professor in the movie. He's a professor at the school. He is also the villain for the Eddie Murphy movie Sodom Numspa. He's that demon. So I was thinking while I was watching this movie, are they going to do a part 2? And if they do a part 2, is Sodom Numspa? Because that's the actor right there. Are they going to make it, you know, him in the movie and make this a tie-in to the movie The Golden Child and bring Eddie Murphy in some kind of way? That would have actually been kind of cool if they'd have done that. But I don't think they're ever doing any more movies on this particular line anymore because they've already changed it and they're going back to closer to the original storyline. In this movie, there's a complete and utter lunatic who gets a hold of a book written by 2 scientists about the afterlife. He follows what they say is possible, and he decides, well, I think I'm going to try to see if I can bust a hole from here to hell, release all of the demons, and then for some reason, I'll be the king of all of them. I didn't understand that either. Just because you released them, they're monster bad guys. That'd be like if I went to jail and I unlocked all of the cages that everybody was in, and I said, now I released you, now I'm your leader. They'd shank me with knives, hopefully. But I'd get killed, because why would they listen to me? Who am I? I open a gate, they're free, and that's cool. But that's not going to make me the king. So when he's going to release these guys from hell, I'm thinking, why would he be the king? Because he opened the door? That don't make any sense. And then by doing that, he suddenly became like super powerful. They didn't really go into detail on how that happened either. He just was like, Hey, look at me, I got all these powers. I mean, he could have done something to create that for himself, but they don't explain it. He just, one day he's just a goofy dude. He dies, he comes back, dun dun dun, I got superpowers. They kept doing throwbacks to the original movie also, which was kind of good, kind of bad, kind of good. He throws a piano across the floor, and it does the Ghostbusters theme song. And I was like, huh. Somebody spray painting in an alley, and randomly they're spray painting a ghost, and it turns out to be the logo for the original movie. And I was like, a lot of throwbacks, a whole lot of throwbacks. I'm not even going to get into all of them. But the guy wants to have hell on earth, and the girls figure that's a bad idea. That's not good. So they decide to fight him for the earth, I guess. And of course they win. They're the Ghostbusters. Busting ghosts is what they do. And that was pretty much it. There were a couple of parts that were kind of funny. To me personally, Leslie Jones was funny in that movie. When the girls are fighting, and she's like, see, I told you should have had that sandwich. That was funny. When she climbed on top of the girl that was possessed, and she gave him those great big, smacks to the face. And she's like, the power of Patty compels you. And she smacked her, and she smacked the ghost right out of the window. I was like, that's kind of funny. And, the girl's head spins around, and she's like, the devil is a liar. She was funny. She walked up in that office and was just sitting there at the beginning of the movie. And they kind of looked at her, and she was just sitting there. And then she just started talking to them. That was funny, because I was like, that whole time, you just been sitting there listening to them talk. There wasn't a lot in the movie, but most of it came from her. Chris Hemsworth was funny also. He throws his sandwich, and he's like, little help, and they throw the sandwich back. He was funny. He was goofy funny. But that was about it. That was about it. I was not a great fan of this movie. Love movies in general, all of the movies, even bad movies. I can sit through if I can kind of just figure out what they're trying to do. This is one of those movies. I sat through it, and I got what they were trying to do. I just didn't dig it. In fact, I would give this movie 5 bags of popcorn. 5 bags of popcorn. That's mostly because I kind of understood what they were doing, but I still didn't dig it. So 5 bags of popcorn. Have you seen the Ghostbusters all-girl cast? If so, let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn passport. Get your popcorn passport.